I mean, let's just get right into this one. Francis Ngannou, Stipe Miocic. I mean, first fight, Stipe, man, how beautiful was that? Like that was one of my favorite fights of all time because you were on the edge of your seat all fight. Like, Nagano still might be able to do something. And then you're like, no, wait a minute. Here we go. Right. I think that's where, I remember thinking to myself, like, Stipe's boxing was always so good. He definitely had a chance in that fight. I think people just really buy into the power. We're seeing in some of the lines right now. We talked about Shane Young, at a plus 175 and what we've seen him do well in fights. I mean, that's a crazy number to me. I think that's where, this fight's a lot closer. Stipe's itching close to that plus 100 range. Like these guys could close it even money, man. And I think that if you're a Stipe fan, you're probably either upset that you didn't get in or you laid your bet a week ago and are just waiting and waiting and waiting for this fight. Because let's be real, if you're in that bandwagon of guys that have done it, Dana said it best. I mean, if you're betting on this guy, you're probably a happy camper. So I think that's where, all Stipe fans are pretty much in the same boat of just expecting the same, going down from a plus 190 opening to pretty much a plus 110 at this point. It's been a drastic drop. It's been obvious that most of the diehard fight fans don't understand why he was even that much of a dog. It's kind of ridiculous. His fight's getting closer and closer to an absolute pick'em. So what I love about Stipe, man, is the footwork, right? He's able to roll with the punches. He's able to read boxers pretty well. And I think at the time, Francis Ngannou still had a lot to learn. I think that he's still putting together an MMA game. I think that his boxing game is very much an MMA style where you're going in for broke in that first round, then you kind of look tired for the rest of that fight. And, funny enough, he didn't even get an opportunity to test himself out after that because, he basically just ends up going to the Derek Lewis fight and my man Derek Lewis gets the W against, Francis Ngannou, who's now the third ranked heavyweight fighter in the world. Bing, bing, bing. But outside of that, I think that I really, really think that when you look at the way Ngannou fights, it's new striking, right? Some of these bigger uppercuts, some of the more quicker footwork. Like I think that he's got to be able to move, right? He can't be so heavy. He can't want to just come in and lay because Stipe is going to be in a new spot by the time he gets there. If there's one thing I can say about Stipe is he's pound for pound one of the best athletes in the UFC. I believe that this man is the type that he could pick up any sport and probably get good at it within a little bit of time. I think that's the kind of athlete he is, right? And so when you're looking at the body he brings to the UFC, it's different, right? That's what makes him so good. When you really take in what he looks like as a 6'3", 6'4" type of heavyweight, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I think that if I had the opportunity to watch a John Jones Stipe fight, I would pay a lot of money to watch that live. I think that that's one of those fights, not live. Like I need to be close. I want to feel the fucking, but anyway, that's a fight for the ages. I think that's probably one of the biggest fights to make in the UFC if that were ever to happen. If obviously this one goes the way Stipe fans hope it should, and if you're in the Ngannou camp, I mean, I really, really think that if that takedown defense is improved, he's at the PI right now, the UFC Performance Institute plus the Extreme Couture camp out in Las Vegas. A lot of fighters are taking the opportunities of going to Extreme Couture because, with this pandemic and stuff, why not just take some time and stay in Vegas and work your way between these two camps? I mean, the UFC Performance Institute seems to be open and the best thing for a lot of fighters, improving their diets, improving their overall lifestyle. I think that's where you're seeing a huge improvement in just the quality of fighters overall. It's making everybody better. And so right now I'm getting very excited to see what new Ngannou can look like because he's going to be well nutritioned. He's going to mental coaches and looking into sports psychology to actually get over certain humps when it came to the Derek Lewis fight, because we know that just wasn't normal. There was some ghost inside of him, but at the end of the day, I really hope that these guys bring it, right. I think that Stipe does have the ability to last that first round, and based on the odds, a lot of people do agree with that because it's definitely shrinking. Outside of that, man, it comes down to Stipe's chin in the first round and Francis's cardio in the third, fourth, and fifth. I think those the variables that come down to both sides. And if you're a Stipe believer, you really hope that he gets out of that. And if you're a Francis guy, you're hoping all this effort that he's put into the mental side, the physical side, outside of, because we know what he is as an athlete. We know what he can do as just a pure boxer and striker in the UFC. It's phenomenal what he's accomplished. The fight time, that's the most impressive thing for me. The total fight time of just being in the octagon is just so amazing. I think he's just, he's going to go down as one of those guys where, if he wins the title or not, or whatever happens with Francis Ngannou, I think he'll go down as one of the most memorable, figures that have ever graced the UFC. Even look at his outfit for the press conference yesterday, such a polarizing figure. I think that the demeanor he brings, how nice he is, soft spoken. This man is the Predator. People have made, digital art with him literally resembling the Predator, but the man looks and talks, and he's the sweetest man you could possibly imagine. And, I just can't wait for this fight, man. I think everybody, any casual, this is the fight where casuals and diehards unite. Everybody should be fans. And it's funny because I think some of the OGs are getting upset at some of the casuals who are jumping on the Stipe bandwagon, but there's a bunch of OGs that believe that Stipe, it shouldn't even be the underdog, let alone a plus 190, should be the favorite. So that's where you're getting some of the beautiful, it's about picking sides of these fighters anymore. It's not about casuals and not, because it looks like there's officially a fight where you have some on both sides. And that's going to be what makes this fight an absolutely beautiful one to watch. So stay tuned for that. I cannot wait. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell. Check out our UFC content. We got some great funny videos up. We got some trailers for UFC 260 up. Let's get it going. I can't wait. I'm pumped. Peace.